A new kind of storm is sweeping across America, silent, invisible, and deadly. Unlike storms we can see and prepare for, this one moves quietly, infiltrating communities, homes, and lives without warning. Its devastation is not measured in broken windows or flooded streets, but in lives lost and families shattered. This storm has a name: fentanyl. Originally developed as a powerful painkiller for patients suffering from severe pain, such as those recovering from surgery or battling cancer, fentanyl was once a tool of healing in the hands of doctors. But today, it's fueling a national crisis, spreading far beyond hospital walls. Once confined to sterile hospital rooms and carefully monitored by medical professionals, fentanyl now appears on the streets, pressed into counterfeit pills and mixed into other drugs. Dealers disguise it as prescription medication, making it nearly impossible to tell the difference between a legitimate pill and a deadly fake. The danger lies in its potency. Just a few grains, barely enough to cover the tip of a pencil, can be lethal. There's no room for error, no margin for a second chance. Fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin, and 100 times more potent than morphine. To put it in perspective, what would be a survivable dose of heroin or morphine can be instantly fatal if it's fentanyl. The difference is measured in micrograms, not milligrams. A dose the size of a pencil tip can be fatal. No second chances, no time to call for help. Even experienced drug users can't tell when fentanyl is present, making every use a deadly risk. Unlike previous waves of opioid addiction, fentanyl is not grown in fields or harvested from plants. It's manufactured in illicit labs, often overseas, with no quality control, no oversight, and no standard dosage. Each batch is different, and a single mistake in mixing can mean the difference between life and death. Fentanyl is mixed into cocaine, meth, and fake prescription pills. Users often have no idea what they're actually taking. It's hidden in plain sight, lurking in substances people think are safe or familiar. People think they're taking a painkiller, a party drug, or something to help them relax. But with fentanyl, every pill, every line, every dose is a deadly gamble, one that too often ends in tragedy. Fentanyl doesn't discriminate. It's not limited to big cities or certain neighborhoods. From bustling urban centers to quiet suburbs and rural towns, its reach is everywhere, touching every corner of America. It affects all walks of life. Students, workers, parents, athletes, no one is immune. The faces of this crisis are as diverse as the nation itself, reminding us that anyone can be at risk. This isn't someone else's problem, it's all of ours. Every community, every family, every individual has a stake in confronting this crisis. The ripple effects of fentanyl touch us all, whether we realize it or not. The fentanyl crisis is woven into the fabric of American life, often hiding where we least expect it, in backpacks, medicine cabinets, even the glove compartment of a family car. Its presence is subtle, but its impact is devastating. It's a silent siege, claiming lives one by one. Each candle, each photograph at a vigil, represents a story cut short, a loved one lost to a crisis that shows no signs of slowing down. We must recognize the threat for what it is, a public health emergency that demands our attention, our compassion, and our action. Only by coming together can we hope to turn the tide. The time to act is now. Every moment counts. Together, we can raise awareness, support those in need, and fight back against the fentanyl crisis before it claims more lives. Our journey begins in a quiet Oregon logging town, where the scent of pine lingers in the air and the streets are lined with memories of a simpler time. Once, these towns thrived on hard work and close community ties, but now, a new crisis shadows the familiar landscape. Here, overdose calls now outnumber bar fights, a stark reminder of how quickly life can change. The local bar, once a gathering place for laughter and stories, now stands empty, replaced by the wail of sirens and the flashing lights of emergency vehicles. Deputies carry naloxone everywhere, prepared to save lives at a moment's notice. They respond to teens overdosing on counterfeit pills, pills that look harmless, but are laced with deadly fentanyl. Each call is a race against time, and every life saved is a small victory in a relentless battle. In rural Nebraska, the crisis arrives quietly, hidden in the back of trucks that roll past golden fields. Fentanyl infiltrates these tight-knit farming communities, devastating families who once believed they were safe from big city problems. A young man dies after taking a fake painkiller. His loss ripples through the town, felt by classmates, neighbors, and friends. The pain is shared by everyone, as the community gathers to mourn and remember a life cut short. In an Arizona suburb, blue M30 pills circulate among high schoolers. These pills are bought on social media, delivered to doorsteps as easily as pizza. The digital age has made access effortless, and the danger invisible. Each pill is a game of Russian roulette. Parents sit at kitchen tables, terrified for their children's safety, clinging to hope and each other. The fear is constant, the threat always present. On Florida's coast, the party scene is alive with music and lights, but beneath the surface, danger lurks. A college student buys cocaine for a night out, unaware it's laced with fentanyl. She never wakes up, her future stolen in an instant. Police now warn tourists and locals alike, the party scene is a deadly gamble. Signs and officers remind everyone that one bad decision can be fatal. From Oregon's forests to Nebraska's farmlands, Arizona's suburbs to Florida's beaches, fentanyl is everywhere. No place is immune. The crisis stretches across the entire American landscape, touching every community, every family. The American landscape is forever changed. Streets once filled with life now stand empty, playgrounds are silent, and the sense of safety has faded. This is a national crisis, but its impact is deeply personal. Behind every statistic is a family grieving, a community struggling to heal. Fentanyl's reach is total, leaving heartbreak and resilience in its wake. In Columbus, Ohio, Sarah sits at her kitchen table, clutching a photograph of her son. He was just 19, a bright athletic teenager, full of promise, who played soccer for his high school team. One night, he took what he thought was a Xanax to help him sleep. It was a single pill, counterfeit and laced with fentanyl. That one mistake cost him his life, leaving his mother to mourn a future that will never be. He wasn't an addict, not someone you'd expect to be at risk. He was simply a kid, like so many others, who made a single tragic decision. His story is a reminder that this crisis can touch anyone, regardless of background or circumstance. In the hills of West Virginia, David, a former coal miner, knows the dangers firsthand. After years of hard labor, he turned to painkillers, then heroin. But when fentanyl began to flood his community, everything changed. He survived 3 overdoses, each one a brush with death, each one a stark warning of how quickly things can spiral out of control. With this fent, it's a flip of a coin, David says, his voice heavy with experience. You're gambling with your last breath every time. You never know if you'll wake up again. In support groups and church basements, he shares his story, hoping to save others from the same fate. In Texas, paramedic Maria faces the crisis on the front lines. Every day she races to calls, sometimes to public libraries, sometimes to minivans parked outside grocery stores where children watch in fear as their parents are revived. She administers Narcan, fighting to bring people back from the brink. We bring them back, but sometimes we're too late, Maria says quietly. The weight of loss lingers with her, each failed rescue a reminder of the lives slipping away. In Northern California, Mark's world shattered when his daughter, a straight-A student, full of ambition, died after taking a pill she thought would help her study for exams. She never knew it was laced with fentanyl. Her empty desk at school is a silent testament to a life cut short. Now, Mark visits schools, holding up her photo, sharing her story with students. He pleads with them to be careful, to understand the risks, hoping his pain can prevent another tragedy. These are not faceless addicts. They are our children, our neighbors, our friends. They are the people we see every day, the ones we love, the ones we never expect to lose. The crisis is everywhere, reaching into every family, every community, no matter how safe or distant it may seem. It's a shadow that stretches across the heartland, leaving worry and heartbreak in its wake. Each story is a life cut short, a future lost, a graduation never celebrated, a dream never realized. The silence left behind is deafening. The pain is real. The loss, immeasurable. Families grieve in kitchens and on porches, holding on to memories and photographs, wishing for just one more day. Fentanyl's victims are not just statistics. They are young people with hopes, dreams, and futures ahead of them. They are athletes, musicians, scholars, and friends, each with a story that deserves to be told. Their stories demand to be heard. The heartland is hurting and communities are coming together, sharing their grief, their anger, and their determination to make a change. The crisis is close to home. It's in our neighborhoods, our schools, our families. We must listen, we must care, and we must act, because every life lost is one too many. Fentanyl's siege thrives in small towns, hidden by silence and shame. Overdoses are whispered about, obituaries vague, grief unspoken. Volunteer firefighters now carry naloxone, responding to overdoses at gas stations and homes of lifelong friends. Rural isolation means fewer resources, longer drives for help, and no anonymity. Fear of judgment keeps many from seeking help. Fentanyl arrives easily, but support is scarce. Small towns grieve quietly, but resilience grows in neighbors looking out for each other. Fentanyl hides in plain sight, mixed into pills and powders that look legitimate. Counterfeit pills mimic real medications. Users can't tell the difference. Dealers mix fentanyl into cocaine, heroin, and meth to boost profits, making every street drug a potential killer. The old lines between hard and soft drugs are gone. No street drug is safe. Parents and educators face a new challenge, warning about a danger you can't see or smell. Every unverified pill is a potential poison. Radical honesty is now a matter of survival. Fentanyl binds to brain receptors, flooding the brain with euphoria, but also shutting down breathing. Its power is speed and intensity. It acts faster and stronger than heroin or morphine. Just a few milligrams can be fatal, especially for new users. Fentanyl is synthetic, made in labs, and its analogs, like carfentanil, are even deadlier. No quality control means one pill might be harmless, the next lethal. The margin for error is microscopic. Fentanyl is a chemical killer with no second chances. Fentanyl's toll ripples through entire communities. Each loss leaves families shattered, classrooms emptier, teams missing players. First responders face trauma and burnout, overwhelmed by the volume of calls. Hospitals, coroners, and law enforcement are stretched thin. Public resources are diverted, and trust within communities erodes. Parks and neighborhoods feel less safe. Fear and suspicion grow. The pain is shared, but often suffered in silence. Fentanyl fractures the bonds that hold us together. The fentanyl crisis is a cry for help, not a cause for blame. Those lost are our loved ones. Addiction is a disease, not a moral failing. Stigma drives people into the shadows. Compassion brings them out. Families need support, not judgment. The crisis exposes deeper issues: mental health isolation and a broken healthcare system. Real change starts with empathy and seeing the person, not just the addiction. Even in darkness, hope persists. First responders, people in recovery, and grieving families turn pain into action. Awareness is the first shield. Open conversations save lives. Naloxone must be everywhere. Treatment must be accessible. Breaking stigma and barriers is essential. This crisis is a chance to rebuild community and compassion. The fentanyl storm won't pass on its own. It must be met with education, action, and hope. The fight for our communities begins now, with each of us.